get two new characters introduced in this episode of Hamatora. We get Honey, and we get 3. Now, 3's pretty freaking cool looking. I mean, it looks like he has a lion face, and then you got Honey that seems to be your standard cliche female character that shouts out her freaking powers to her enemies, saying, oh, I could see 10 minutes into the future with my mighty, and don't worry, I'll continue to rub my face up against it, even though this is the entire goal of my powers. And so, pretty stupid, but that's a standard cliche even for a show, an anime, or manga, so I'll look past that. But this episode had a very slow pacing. In this case, it wasn't that interesting. It was just about pretty much these people gun smuggling into the actual country with tiki dolls. We didn't really get much explanation of how they were really doing that or why they were wanting to do that. But what we did find out about this entire case was pretty much children were getting hypnotized, watching a video online that they all were on this video sharing site, and pretty much getting told to purchase a gun and go commit crimes. That's pretty much what this entire case kind of wrapped around. And honestly, it's okay. It was a good watch, but it wasn't the best thing I've seen, and it doesn't live up to the expectations I have of this series. Now, I do like the main villain. Moral, right now I'm still trying to learn his motives. I mean, we understand he's trying to put brains in other people that don't have powers. We know this. But I swear to you, he probably has some form of other goal in mind to be able to do something like this. I mean, he's such a character that you cannot really understand what's going on in his thought patterns or his mind. Because, I mean, in this episode, you see him just talking to a guy that he's given powers, and all of a sudden, he just shoots him through a pillow, and the dude falls over and dies. And then we see a little crazy side to him when he decides to put a freaking doll head on him after he shot him. So, pretty much, this show has a lot of darkness to it, a dark theme series as we already all expected. But, is it really living up to what it should? I mean, I've got a lot of Psycho-Pass vibes from this series. I mean, the main villain is that Moral is really reminding me of Shogo, and it could be necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. The reason why it could be a bad thing is because I would be constantly comparing Psycho-Pass with this series, or at least the villains comparing to each other. Right now, the villain kind of reminds me of early stages of Shogo from Psycho-Pass, so I really don't know how well of a developed villain he's going to be. So I'm not going to judge Moral right now. Moral has a good voice actor, he has a good set of character design, and we don't know his powers if he has any, because we don't know much background about him. So I cannot judge him there. Now, once again, I want to state the freaking obvious. Why is there such easy names in this? We got Moral, we got Art, we got Nice, we got Birthday, Raito. I mean, we got just so many crazy freaking names that are just English names or very just standard names that are just like, I guess, you know, unique. For an anime, it's weird. But all in all, this episode really was just a very slow episode. There was not much really progression with the characters at all. I mean, we got two new introductions of characters, kind of figured out their personalities, and the only pretty much epic moment of this episode was definitely that granny and the freaking say, can I make it to my Hawaii flight in time? And she's just sitting there freaking driving and smashing into the car. That's like thugs and all that. I was like, are you serious? A granny's doing this? So by far, that was probably the best freaking moment in this episode. But this episode just felt very slow and kind of boring, to be honest. So it could have been a lot better. Hopefully, it was actually better than the last episode. I'm going to agree with that one. But hopefully next episode we'll start to see a pickup in the actual plot, because right now we're not really seeing the full potential of Hamatora. We're not really seeing all the major characters getting the spotlight they deserve. And Birthday, stop raising your own freaking death flags. He says life is too short in this episode. I mean, he literally might as well say, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna die. Don't worry, don't worry. That's literally what I actually was hearing him say instead of saying something like that. And so, honestly, I see some good stuff in this series, I do. That's the only reason why I'm choosing to stick around in Hamatora, because it can really turn around to be something really engaging, but it depends on how they take the characters and how they want to take the plot. I don't want this to be an exact ripoff of Psycho-Pass, but I want it to, at the very least, you know, have something that makes me really have to fake and figure out what the hell is going on to the next scene and figure out the actual goals of the villain. Right now, of course, I'm trying to figure out the goals of the villain, but it's not thinking like, holy crap, I know what his goal is, but why does he want to do it? So anyways, guys, this is going to be the end of my anime review on Hamatora this week. Tell me what you think about this episode, what you think about the epic granny, what you think about the animation that was freaking, once again, seizure, procedure type inducing. Tell me what you think about the characters, tell me what you think about the simple names. Y'all wonderful day and out wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.